your platform, like I've seen it, I've watched a couple of your videos. I just remember you screaming more on your videos, and your hair was like,
Yeah, the
I
old
think you had
days.
crazy hair, right? And I don't do prep coaching for competitions. I do more lifestyle because I think it's very easy to manipulate someone's diet, training, and sleep patterns than it is to, get the questions about, hey, what do I need to take? Like that's the hard question because, like I mentioned, everyone has, a shelf, right? But at the same time, they think that they need more. Everything is in excess, and I can't advise someone on that. I mean, I'm not a doctor. I don't want to take on that responsibility. And I just think it puts me in an awkward place because they look at me as like someone, oh, well, Jay must have done this, this, and this. But at the same time, like that's not what I'm going to preach onto someone in order to get in their best shape. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I feel 100% comfortable with coaching anyone at any level with all of the different drugs and PDs,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't want to do it because I don't like the notion of having to tell somebody that you should take this dose and this dose, and like having to tell someone who's taking 1,000 milligrams of trend that I don't want them to take more than 700. That's like, it's so much. And I don't enjoy it the way that I do training. Like my ideal person when I coach someone is somebody who's overweight and they just don't know what to do. And they want to like lose some weight and get in shape. And I just enjoy that more than if I had 10 guys in the Mr. Olympia lineup and I was coaching them to win the title. I wouldn't enjoy that as much as just having like the average person who just wants to be healthy. Like I get personally more enjoyment from that than coaching the top pros in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I have 6 or 7 people right now over 300 pounds that I'm working with a challenge right now. It's a 6-month challenge. And, they're making superior progress because a lot of these people just don't know how to eat, right? It's the first time they've ever been on some sort of a systematic approach to how to eat and how to work out consistently. And it's changing. I mean, we have diabetic people that can basically, change their lives because they now aren't diabetics anymore. I mean, a lot of it has to do with your nutrition. And I think that everyone should pay attention to that. And that's really what my ideal, just like you said, is the ideal person to work with.
And just so that the people, if they're interesting right now, I'm sure a lot of people want to work with you. Where would they go to contact you if they want to decide to hire you for coaching? Like what should they email
honestly,
you, or what's the best way?
You'll see me put it out there. I mean, I do have a Cutler club, which is cutlerclub.com, which is my membership club. But I do these limited challenges. I mean, I only fill so many spots right now. I'm not offering anything, but I do have the Cutler club, which is, kind of like more, I do live feeds every 2 weeks on there, and I get on, there's forums, and, it's a membership. It's only $100 a year. And you can get on and, ask me personal questions and interact with my group members, which is really cool. It's just it's a community, right? That we all can kind of get on there and kind of experience. And I have some really great members on there. So that's kind of like another thing that I've done that's given me the opportunity to kind of interact with people and answer these kind of questions that they wouldn't necessarily get through the social media channels because it's not as personal.
And do you do any phone consults or anything like that? Is that something you offer?
Sometimes. I mean, a few of the people require that. I mean, they like that. But I don't really offer it very often just because for me, it's just a little invasive. I mean, I do a lot of my stuff through email, and I do have people that do reach out on the phone. But I do try to limit that as much as possible. Because listen, with me, a lot of people just want to say, hey, I want to get on a phone with Jay. And, I do cameo shout outs for like birthday messages and all that, which I get a ton of those. But I just try to avoid cutting into too much. I mean, my days are very, very rigid with not only my fitness stuff, but I do a lot of stuff outside of fitness that, it keeps me extremely busy. And, it's just something now that, I do offer things, and listen, not to say it won't pop up, but, just feel free to reach out to me. You know where to find me, and any one of my outlets. And sometimes if I'm in the right mood, I'll get on and give people a shout out. I was on with someone from Australia last night handling the order, and I sent them a video and just said, hey man, appreciate you being a fan. And, some days are better than other days. Let's put it that way,
Do you ever get into the comment section? Like I'm living in this comments, like people are, I hate you. You know what I mean? Like, do you comment back? Do you like, I try not to like make it like, I don't really care. I'm amused by what they say. Like, I just think it's funny, but like I spend time in the comment section interacting with people. And I think people appreciate that because you look at some, like, let's look at somebody famous, like The Rock. Is The Rock going to ever write a comment to somebody? Like never. So I think if you can interact with the fans, whether it's in a good or bad way, even I think that's important. Do you ever get a chance to do that?
Yeah.
Or just live?
Any Instagram post that I put up on my Jay Cutler Instagram, I comment. If I follow you, you'll see there's a million people I comment through the day. I'll be honest, I take about 10 people a day and I try to flip through social media, like at the end of my day, and I try to like and comment. And a lot of times it's emojis, and probably people are laughing watching this because they know that that's what I do. But that is me. That's me actually commenting on your pictures. I'll go through and I'll see who tags me, and I'll go through and like the ones that are relative to, like, it's a picture you like, especially after expos or like the Arnold is coming up. I'll be there in a week. I'll try to go on and just try to give some interaction with people, especially if we meet face to face. And the youngsters, it's super important for me too. And I'm like, sometimes I'll follow those people. Sometimes they'll tell me a story about their journey. But what I'll do is I'll say, hey, make sure you tag me on Instagram, and I'll go and I'll like it and I comment, because people want to build their followings. What's the best way to get a better following? When Jay Cutler, it helps with the algorithm when you just, like the picture, I comment, like I'm a blue check mark. So that's going to help these people get noticed. And I said, tag your heroes, tag the people that you follow that are giving you inspiration on there. And you just never know. I mean, a lot of these kids I've seen come up from nothing to something spectacular now on social media. You don't have to have accolades to be popular on social media anymore. Oh,
it's unbelievable. There's a couple of guys I did videos with, like just randomly talking back and forth. They would have had like 30,000 followers, good, but they're like almost ahead of me now. They're over 1 million. And I'm like, that was just a couple of years. They just blow up. And I'm like, it's interesting to see like how some people can take themselves from this way. They work really hard and they move on. Another question is it okay for people to come talk to you at the gym? Like, I'm just like, I'm just Greg, but like, I'll get 5 people come a day and take a picture. And I see a lot of people looking and they kind of want to, and they're nervous. And I'm like, hey man, I can talk. I'm not prepped for the Olympia. I'll stop and talk to anybody.
Yeah. Listen, I'm going to say it right here on this camera. If you see me, please come up to me. Doesn't matter if I look mad, because I always look mad anyway. So just come up to me, shake my hand, say hello. I don't mind the pictures. I'm not training for any Olympias now. I mean, if this would have been back in the day, I still would have been nice to you, but I didn't really want to take the pictures in the gym because I was very serious. But please, I'm very welcoming. If you see me in the airport, if you see me in an expo, if you see me in a restaurant, don't interrupt me while I'm eating. But when I'm walking out, please interrupt me, because that's one of the pet peeves I do have, is like when I'm sitting down at a table eating and I'm literally like in the middle of eating and someone's like, hey, Jay, can I take a picture? And I'm like, honestly, if it's that important, I would wait until I'm done or another opportunity. You never want to bother someone, especially when they're with a group of people eating. You know what I mean? Because it's like you end up shaking hands and you're in the middle of eating food. It's just it causes too much commotion in the restaurant too. Is because everyone's like, who is that guy? And that's almost like a little embarrassing for me, because then all of a sudden it creates, oh, I'm going to take a picture with this guy, and people have no idea who I am, but they're like, oh, he must be someone popular. Maybe I'll take a picture with him. That's the problem with social media now, is everyone wants to be recognized, right?
And does it get old? Like, I mean, it's relative. Being somebody that people would recognize, for me, is kind of relatively new. Like, I've only had a channel really popular for 2 years, but for you, it's been like 15 years plus. So does it change to get old? Like, do you get bored of it? Do you get sick of it? Do you wish, like, I wish no one recognized me and just keep in a bubble? Or is it awesome? It's just great.
Sometimes, Greg, but the appreciation is like you don't realize how many people you touched until that many people stop you. But there are some times where Angie, my fiance, and I are out and like, we're just trying to blend in. And it's kind of hard to do sometimes, especially when, you're in a place where there's people that follow the workout world or whatever. And, but it's respect. It's never, and no one comes up and wants to start a fight with me, or no one has a problem with me. I mean, my reputation, I think, in the business is pretty solid, where I've always shown respect to people, and I never really badmouth people unless they've given me a reason to. And I'm very, very welcoming if people have come up, and I'm always the last one to leave these expos. And I've kind of given my all to bodybuilding. And now, of course, like it's been recognized outside of that realm, like, like fitness people. What's really cool is like, if you look at NFL and NBA players, like we know LeBron's and like, all these people have a huge amount of following, but in general, the fitness community has more million plus followers than most professional athletes do, like big sport athletes. So it just shows how much the fitness arena is expanding, but at the same time, how much those people influence people. Because I think a lot of people in all general aspects of life follow a fitness person for different reasons. And a lot of people are trying to figure out is how to get the body in the best shape. I mean, how many people wake up every morning, look at themselves in the mirror and say, I'm happy with the way I look? Probably not many. And I was a victim of that for many years. But until you wake up and you're very, very satisfied with what you see, even me, I'm challenging. I go to I look at myself in the gym mirror and I'm like, I need to get my triceps a little more cut, or, I'm trying to get my shoulders bigger. Like I've lost all my size in my shoulders. And that's the most frustrating thing for me, Greg, because I had those crazy cap shoulders. They look like shoulder pads, right? And I've deflated now, and not only from the food, but obviously, the substance and everything that I did. And I do way more cardio now. I do fasted cardio every morning, and I train with half the amount of weight. So like, I'm always trying to be better. So that's what's really cool about people coming up, showing their respect. No one ever says, hey, I don't like you. You said you got people commenting. Like, not many people get on my comments and tell me to F off or anything like that. I just enjoy it. I enjoy it. And my hard work is paid off.
Yeah. And in comparison, like I would have said you had like, a 10 on 10 reputation. You're like, I would have never suspect anyone would ever say anything bad to you in person. For me, I probably got 5%. And when you got 5% out of a million people, that's like 50,000 people. It's a lot of people, but I've never once in my life had anyone come up to me and say anything even remotely negative. It's like, I'm almost shocked at how much positivity there is. They come up and you changed my life. I watch all your videos. I've lost so much weight. I lost 200 pounds. Like, it's unbelievable. And so I think that people would read the comments, would think that I'm actually hated by a lot of people. But in reality, it's just these few people that just kind of pick on the bad stuff that I might do. And they forget about the good stuff. And they just kind of paint a picture that I'm this horrible person. But yet, anyone that meets me, they would never have that impression.
Yeah. And Greg, like, you reached out to me on Instagram, like you DM me, right? And I mean, you probably were like, oh, I wonder if Jay's going to reply. And I don't know if I replied right away. I think there was a message in there that I had missed your message, right? And
I tried a few times, and okay. The first time I didn't get a response, but I'm like, I get thousands. I can barely keep up with DMs and stuff.
It's insane, but I'm sure when I did react, you were like, wow, okay, Jay.
Oh, I was excited.
And then you said, hey, I just said, listen, just be respectful, and I'm willing to talk about anything. There's not one thing. You sent me over a list of questions and said, hey, are these okay to kind of talk about? I didn't resist on one thing, right? There's nothing I needed to steer away from. I'm very open and honest, and I respect everyone. So with your platform, like, I've seen it. I've watched a couple of your videos. I just remember you screaming more on your videos, and your hair was like, I think you had crazy hair, right? So yeah, that's more what I see, but I appreciate anyone that puts knowledge, information, has an opinion. I'm sure you have an opinion, like sometimes that people don't agree with, but that's what it is, man. Like, that's real shit. So I'm down. Like, anyone that, like I said, I think we kind of steered away a little bit, and part of that's my fault, but like, come up to me, talk to me, be respectful. And I'm willing to talk to anyone.